this one. Yeah, so where is that? It was in mid. Yes, Vardhan, what is your doubt?
So like in the pan, should we why aren't we starting with shouldn't we start with 0 and 0.42?
Yeah,
In these
but just recall the definition of cumulative mass fraction. What is the definition of cumulative mass fraction? Can you recall that?
just a minute.
Just check the PPT, otherwise I have to open it from here.
Yes, sir. I've written in my notes. Like it is obtained from the differential analysis by adding cumulatively the individual differential increment starting with that retained on the pan. So here the retained on the pan is 0.42 and 0.
Yeah, but what is the definition of the function that we had discussed? The cumulative analysis, let me go back to that slide. Yeah, this one maybe. Yeah. The cumulative analysis is nothing but a plot between this one, the phi and dpi. How the phi is defined. Phi is defined as the mass fraction of the sample that consists of particles smaller than dpi.
Yes, sir.
So dpi means the average particle size of on that specific screen, right? So if I
Yes, sir.
consider ith screen, I have to take phi as the cumulative mass fraction of all the particles which is smaller than dpi. So I cannot take into consideration of that specific sheaf or that specific screen. I have to take all the particles which is below that. And in this problem there was a mistake which I think I corrected. Initially the table was something different, and now I corrected this table. If you see that table, now it is corrected. Now if you see the last column, it is minus 0.42. That means all the particles which is smaller than 0.42, their mass fraction is this one for undersize.
Okay, sir. So like I got confused with the definition and this particular exam problem
This
itself.
particular example, the table was not correctly given when I was discussing it. Then I corrected it later on, maybe in next class. And now if you see this table, I have written here 0.42. And it makes sense now. What would be the phi? That is the cumulative mass fraction value for 0.42. That would be 0.141, because see, it is smaller than 0.42 and it is exactly matching with the definition of phi, which is the cumulative mass fraction.
Yes, sir.
Right, got it. Okay.
Sir, could you repeat it once? I didn't get that.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, while calculating the cumulative mass fraction, let's see the definition what we had discussed. So it's the plot between phi and dpi. What is phi? The quantity phi is the mass fraction of the sample that consists of particles smaller than dpi. Just look into, be
But like
careful of this term.
the statement before that is actually kind of contradicting is what I felt. Like the individual differential increment starting with that retained on the pan and tabulating or like that starting with that retained on the pan is what is
Yeah,
confusing.
this might create confusion, right? Starting with, I think we can remove this one. I think it will reduce the confusion.
Yes, sir. Like I have started with 0 and 0.42 reading the definitions.
Yeah, for pan actually the cumulative mass fraction will always be 0, right? Because you don't have anything below that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Let's see in the example for pan C0, right? So with this definition, if I look into this problem, I think someone was telling me that it is not clear yet. So if I look into this table now, if you have to take all these minus numbers, all this minus number states that all the particles which is having mass below this size. So if I take, suppose I take 0.42, that means all the particles that is having size smaller than 0.42 millimeter, and their mass fraction is this. Now if we add up from the bottom, we will get the cumulative one.
But
Yes, got it.
yes, sir. So these are basically the fine particles.
Yeah, so when I'm talking about any cumulative mass fraction of, let's take ith screen, so you have to consider the particle which is smaller than the opening of ith screen. Now here it's not a screen number written, it's two numbers written. So here itself it is clear that if I am taking this row only, it is the particle is designate the particle which is smaller than 0.42 but bigger than 0.29. Let's forget about bigger than, but smaller than 0.42 millimeter. Now when I am plotting the cumulative plot, I will put only 0.42 here. Does that make sense now? Because it represents, this number represents the total number of total weight of particle, total weight fraction of the particle which is smaller than 0.42. Does that make sense now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any question from last class? So let us have a brief recap of the last class. So we started with the crushing or grinding, or better known as comminution process. So then we have seen the basic mechanism of comminution, how we can break the particle, and what are the different force or mode of force which is applied to a particle which can lead to ultimate breakage of the particle. And I had asked one question: what is the difference between attrition and shear? Can I get a better answer today?
Sir, attrition is basically breaking of particles due to collision of one another, whereas in shear we are taking only individual particle and forcing it over tangentially. In that way we are trying to break it.
Yeah, but in both the cases you are applying force, right?
No, sir. Actually, in attribution, we are not allowing force. We are just blowing the air so that the particles will move through the flow pipe.
No, that's
And
not
during
right.
that, they collide and break. If their particles are brittle,
No,
the size gets decreased.
no, that's not right. If they collide with each other, that's an impact force.
Yeah, so means we are not applying the force, sir.
No, it's not like that. If you see the image itself, here we have surface iron both at the top and the bottom.
Sir, here two arrows are there in attrition and shear. One arrow is there.
That is a difference between two images. That's not the difference. So let me tell you, like, and I have given you one clue also. Attrition, the term attrition, you will see mostly in particles or powders, whereas the shear term you have seen in fluid mechanics. So there is something which is a hint in this question. So fluid, when we talk about the definition of fluid, we talk about something called continuum, right? So it's a continuous process. It doesn't have any discontinuity between the layers or between the packets of fluid. It's a continuous process, right? Now take a single particle and apply a force which looks something like this on that particle. Single particle, instead of all these particle, you have only single particle. Now will you say that it's an attrition or shear? Suppose you have this row, this or this block moving upward. One is moving downward and one is moving upward. You have only single